It is time for Astronomy Daily Live. It is 2 hours UTC. So, hey, everybody, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Join the circle of friends who are all sharing a common passion for the science of astronomy. Grab your favorite beverage or other consumable of choice. Tonight, I've got coffee in the thick mug. Cheers. Watching the watching the sunset tonight. It's been actually been a little bit cloudy here today. Can definitely, because it's usually so dry. Uh, I can definitely tell when the humidity goes up, and it's gone up. We've had a little bit of clouds move through, and yeah, it's feeling it. It's feeling it. Hey there, Tom. Nice to see you in the chat. Miss Lady Catherine, you are also in the chat. Hey, 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 Bobby. Nice to see you. Hope everything's well in your world. Everything's okay here. Yeah, pretty chill weekend. Nothing too exciting going on. Speaking of things going on, I have to check. I have to check this. Um, but I think there's a pretty good possibility that there will be no live stream on June 1st. June 1st at 2 hours UTC. So, yeah, check your calendars, check your date and time. Um, so, yeah, I think there's a pretty good possibility that the live stream for June 1st will be canceled. I need to check with that. I guess I need to I guess I need to get on that pretty soon because it's coming up in just a few days. I've got another musical gig uh, uh, that that time slot. I think it's that time slot. So yeah, I will definitely make sure that you all are informed by tomorrow. By tomorrow, I just have to figure out what time this event is, but it's probably happening. It's probably happening in the live stream time slot. So yeah. Hey there, Tim. You crazy man, coming in talking astronomical things. As I said, I'm just watching the sunset here with a few little clouds. It usually gets pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Um, let's see. Can I pull this? Yeah, it's not gonna not gonna do not gonna do justice in any way. You can see that the sun is still out, and yes, those are peace signs. I have peace signs for curtains. uh, yeah, we're not going to be able to see much. You can see a pretty good blue sky, though. Oh, pretty good blue sky. Fence line over there. Yeah, not much to see. Sorry, just a sunset. A little bit of wind. A little bit of wind out there. And see them shaking the trees. So a little bit of wind. Not too bad. I think I'm feeling the camera trying to focus. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know that it did anything. But yeah, I can definitely feel it doing something. Let's check on the sunset here. Yeah, that's really sad. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Not going to see much there. Not going to see much there. So, Most of the sunsets here, though, are pretty awesome. So can't complain. Yeah, yeah. Well, I say that, Tim, all the time, all the time. It's like, let's give peace a chance. Let's give peace a chance, especially on the large scale. I think we humans are always going to sort of, argue amongst each other and have you know personality conflicts and uh, you know little behavioral conflicts and all of that. But larger scale. Um, I think peace is definitely a viable option. I've been watching Isaac Arthur's series on what he's calling a post scarcity society, and that's sort of what Buckminster Fuller talked about, and it's also what I talk about quite a bit. Yeah, and I don't mind a little bit of conflict. I think that keeps us sharp, right? It's you know I sort of I'm not really a sports fan, right? I mean, I don't really watch a lot of sport shows or um, um, sporting events, but one of the sports that I'm really, really, really impressed with is rugby. Um, either European or the Australian. I don't care. Now, let me preface this by saying that I have watched a substantial amount of rugby, um, and for the life of me, I cannot figure it out. I cannot figure out what the rules are at all. Um, and I mean, it's a little strange, I guess, but sometimes I get a little hung up on words. And one of the words that really, really, really bothers me in rugby is the word try. It's um, that word uh, really, it drives me insane because it and I understand that all sports have their vocabularies, right? But sort of taken out of context, right? Taken out of that and just looking at sort of the common use of that term, okay? It's like, you know these guys actually you know aren't making any kind of effort. They're just trying, right? They're just trying, but they're not actually doing, right? They're just trying. So, but yeah, anyway, what reminded me of rugby was this concept of having a conflict but not taking it personally. It's a fact, right? I've I've watched quite a few of these matches, right? And these are big dudes. They are big, mean mofo's, right? They are some tough, tough, tough dudes, right? And um, uh, any one of them, any one of them could very, very literally kill anyone else there, right? They are some tough guys, right? And if they were, I mean, the way that they play, right, is so rough. It seems so rough, right? I mean, they hit so hard and they grab so hard, and I mean, it's really a rough sport, right? And if you were to take, um, uh, yeah, yeah, um, Tim, I totally agree that you don't have to be big, but at least the matches that I've seen, these dudes are big, right? I mean, they're big, and if they took that kind of punishment and attack and everything personally, they would wipe each other out, right? But what's really amazing is that I at least while they're playing, right? At least while they're playing, they don't take any attack or any tackle or any hit, any scratch, any grab. They don't take it personally. They all realize that it's one team um, going against another team, and they're both trying to do the same thing. There's I guess you call it like mutual respect, where they can have a conflict, right? They can have a conflict, but um, they they don't really take things personally, um, because if they did, they'd wipe themselves out, right? And isn't that interesting that that's sort of what we as humanity has been doing for these past 50 to 60 years, right? We're teetering on this edge, and uh, and we're taking things way too personally, right? Which is understandable, right? Is understandable, but looking at it from sort of a different point of view, it's like, what are we doing here, right? What are we doing? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm just trying to have a good time, right? I'm trying to have fun and um, um, enjoy this. So let's all do that. Yeah, but Isaac Arthur, he does um, make sort of some interesting points about this post scarcity society, and how it might be. And so I greatly encourage you to check him out. That's Isaac Arthur. Uh, yeah, pretty interesting guy. I didn't realize that he has like a full production crew, right? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm doing this, and this is just my own thing. I don't have a crew. I mean, I can't imagine needing one. Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, they write all this out. Their graphics are really uh, nice. There's a lot of production, and they're done extremely well. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't, then check out Isaac Arthur. You could bring any forward to the ground. Yeah, yeah. Well, Tim, um, as I said, I have watched, I mean, a substantial amount of rugby, and I cannot figure it out. Except I know that it's extremely. I mean, everybody knows exactly what they're doing, right? I mean, and they have to be extremely careful, or they're really going to hurt each other, like in a major way. And those referees, man, those referees are are amazing, right? I mean, they've got these eagle eyes, and they are, I mean, they are right in the middle of things watching, you know, um, they're watching every single move, and yeah, um, uh, it is an amazing sport, but it completely baffles me. I cannot, I cannot um, figure out for the life of me, um, what the rules are. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I do like to watch it. I haven't watched that in a long, long, long time. It's probably been a couple years since I've watched a match. So yeah, cheers. When when I was young, I played what we Americans at least call soccer, and how this kind of goes is that I had my own ideas about sort of what position I would like to play, and I thought until I started playing soccer, I thought that I would love to be the goalie, right? Um, and so I would sort of practice, um, uh, you know, or at least think about being being a goalie. And so when I joined the soccer team, I um, I tried out for goalie, and I I very 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 quickly realized that uh, I definitely had a fear of the ball, right? Um, uh, when I saw that thing coming at me, my instinct was to get out of the way. So that doesn't make for a very good goalie. So I ended up not being goalie. Um, tried a few other positions and found my niche being right wing, um, a forward, um, and yeah, that was my niche. That was really really fun, and yeah, it was a good experience. As a team, we were terrible, right? We were really really bad, um, but I think I scored a couple of times, and that's an incredible rush, right? That's an just an amazing uh, rush. My right leg muscle was hanging out, and I didn't notice. My coach told me to hit the ground. Ref didn't see a thing. Wow, yeah. Um, uh, you know, Rugby puts the American football to absolute shame. Absolute shame. I mean, what a um, just my opinion, and I mean, but yeah, there's almost no comparison, right? I mean, the American football players, they they have all this padding and all this protection, and each play lasts 30 seconds, right? If that, right? Rugby is continuous. I mean, it practically, I mean, I don't think it really ever stops. The clock very, very, very rarely stops. It's just constant go, 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 go. So, yeah, pretty amazing. So, anyway, my point is that I think that we can have conflict, and I think that's actually very very good because it makes each party sort of think a little bit, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to really really think about you know my position on this, and I'm going to listen very very hard to to you who thinks I'm wrong, right? Because I'm gonna prove to you that you're wrong, right? So So yeah, I think the conflict is actually very, very good. It's just somehow, and I mean, I, I mean, I certainly have to practice this, but it's the practice of not taking things personally. Um, and that's really, really hard, right? That's really, really hard. You know, when somebody's saying you this and you that and you, it's hard to distance yourself from that. But I think that's possible. And, you know, um, if you don't get along with somebody, leave them alone, right? That's all. That seems like an easy thing um, to do. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So, all right, well, cool. I was trying to think of what to talk about in terms of astronomy tonight, and you know, the problem that I always have is that there's so much. There's so much that's like, you know, can go everywhere, right? All over the place. Um, uh, so yeah, I'm not quite sure. Just FYI, Music from the Hearts of Space is free tomorrow. They're doing a what is it called? I put a link to it in the on the uh, on the Discord server. It's called this week's show is called Flowing into Spring #4. So that sounds interesting. Last week's Hearts of Space was pretty good. It was pretty good. Um, you know, I don't know if I listened to the whole thing yet. Gonna have to maybe go back and listen to it and remind myself because I think I listened to it right after I recorded it. So that was almost a week ago, and I mean, for me, um, a week ago seems like a year ago. So it's just like, wow, that was way, way, way back there. Don't remember a thing about that. So, but yeah, it's always the um, the weekly show, which is sometimes new, sometimes old, but it's always free listening on Sundays. Free listening on Sundays. So what I do is uh, I record it and I save it as an MP3 and um, God damn, yeah, yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, Thank you, Uncle Bill, for the Discord invite there too. Yeah, if you haven't joined my server, please do so. It's just a it's another means of communication. That's really um, all that is. There is audio, which I think at some point I um, might want to take advantage of. Bobby, you're getting no sound from me? Huh, okay. Well, I don't know. It looks like I'm okay here. Looks like I'm okay here. Whoop. Yeah, no, I can hear it on my smartphone. Okay, so yeah, check your end of things. Not quite sure. Not quite sure. Yeah, okay. All right. Just gonna have to read lips, Bobby. You're just gonna have to read lips. All right, well, cool. You know, I was looking at the asteroid occultations um, here. Why don't we do that? Haven't had. Okay, you're gonna hit the hay. That's a good idea. Um, so yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming in, Tim. I know it's really, really late. You're a crazy man. Um, Now I know in more ways than one. He's also a rugby player. That that really raises the bar in terms of craziness. So cheers, cheers. I will see you later. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, let's look at the asteroid occultation predictions. You know, um, there are now something like 750,000 known asteroids, right? And thousands of them. I don't know how you muted it. I have no idea. Um, but there's something like 750,000 asteroids, and thousands of new ones are being discovered every single month, right? In fact, let's go over to let's look at asteroids first here. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's see. We'll go over here and let's go to the the Minor Planet Center. Minor Planet Center. This is the storehouse. So yeah, okay, minor planets discovered. Okay, this month so far 205, almost at the end of the month. Okay, so I exaggerated a little bit. This year so far almost 3,000 new ones, right? And yep, we're almost to 750,000 asteroids. That's pretty amazing. Now, I've seen papers that um, uh, speculate that there are there could be like um, maybe 100 million or maybe even a billion asteroids, um, like 1 meter or larger. So, I mean, it's just a huge, huge, huge number of things out there, and I'm thinking that I mean, and when I'm talking asteroids, I'm talking about asteroids primarily in sort of the asteroid belt, right? I mean, in the solar system, right? Um, either part of the asteroid belt or you know associated with the planets, right? There's this there's this other realm, right, which is called the Kuiper Belt, which is way out there, right, beyond. Well, it sort of starts at the orbit of Pluto and extends out. I think a couple of hundred astronomical units, right? Um, and an astronomical unit, of course, is the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. So we're talking, I think the orbit of Pluto was somewhere around 30, 32, 34 um, astronomical units. And so the, the theory is that the Kuiper belt goes out to about 200 or so. So yeah, just this huge expanse of stuff, and I mean, who knows how many objects are out there, right? And the smaller they are, usually the more of them there are. So um, in fact, occultations are probably taking place um, a lot more frequently than what we actually think. It's just that they happen usually so incredibly fast that we just don't see them, right? On the scales, I mean, they can be on the scales of milliseconds, or so. Yeah, you know, I need to. I was actually working on a project that did a pretty deep dive into the asteroidal occultations, um, uh, and yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at all that. I should pull that out and review it um, with you folks. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Anyway, so yeah, right now we know of about 750,000 asteroids, and obviously all these asteroids are between us and the so-called background stars, right? So there's always an opportunity for this asteroid to pass in front of these stars relative to us, the observer. Um, and when that happens, that is called an occultation, and it's just when this asteroid passes in front of a star, and usually the asteroid is either, you know, very, very faint or, in fact, even invisible, right? You know, even through a telescope. These are very, very dark objects. They're very, very small, um, usually pretty far away, right? So oftentimes you don't actually see the asteroid at all. But what you do observe is a star, right? That all of a sudden vanishes, and then, you know, seconds or maybe even minutes later, it reappears, and that is when the asteroid is um, passing in front of the star relative to you, and so I mean, what that literally is the shadow of the asteroid going over you. So yeah, very very cool, and well, it happens pretty often. So there's a couple of great sites. One is called asteroid occultation.com, and these are just, a list of the predicted um, occultations um, over the next, you know month or two, right? So, and what this person has done is they've sort of given a general area as to where the occultation is going to be visible, right? So it might say, I mean, it might say northern United States, southwestern Asia, southeast Canada, West Africa, uh, Mexico, New Zealand, right, right, right. So, let's see, are most of us here in the chat? Are we United States? Tim was over in the UK. I know that. I've never actually asked this. Whereabouts are all you folks? You can be as specific as you wish. Yeah, I guess Jules was going to have a VHF UHF show, and um, didn't because his ISP was down. And I forgot to tweet the fact that I'm live now, so I'm going to do it right now. I saw that Uncle Bill did it sort of for me, but there we go. Thanks, Uncle Bill. You're awesome. So Ohio, Morgan City, Louisiana. Okay. So yeah, I think most of us here are USAers, probably. Probably. That's my guess. So let's just sort of maybe we'll focus on some United States ones and yeah. Ah, all right. Let's see. So you can see over here the date and the UT time. I don't remember what this other column is. Oh, some kind of ranking. I don't know what that is. There's the name of the asteroid, the name of the star, and then yeah, where it's visible, right? Um, so let's see here. Let's see. Today is the 27th of May, UT time. So this is happening at 4:55 UT in a couple hours. This is happening in a few hours. It just says USA. Let's look at that one. And so if you click here, it pulls up a little map, which isn't really a great map, but it's not bad. Now, Uncle Bill, you said Central Georgia? Yeah, it looks like this is going through Central Georgia. Um, the thing to do is to go to another asteroid website, and this is called um, uh, EI. Oh, let's try pure asteroid. Not no, not Pyeongtaong. I want pointing. Not that kind of pointing. I want pointing. I'm not gonna get it that way, am I? REIT. I always forget the name of this website. It's kind of a weird one. Pointsource.com. Pointsource.com. And the cool thing about this particular site is that he's he's put these onto Google Maps. So let's look at the one that this one was saying was going to be going over Central Georgia. Um, when was that? Oh, in just a few hours, right? At 5:41 UTC. So that's like 3 hours from now. 3 hours from now. So 27 May. This one, right? Let's make sure. Yeah, Nana. Right. So asteroid 1203 named Nana is going to be occulting a star called TYC 6223 minus 01445-1. That star is magnitude 11.9, right? And the maximum duration of the occultation looks like it's going to be like 2.4 seconds. So it's going to be really, really fast. But if we go to the Google Maps, this will actually show us the path. And without getting too specific, right? You can look at this map, Uncle Bill, and see if it's going to be going over your location, because it is going right through Central Georgia. I don't know why it's telling me the elevation here. So these dark lines here. Whoop! I zoomed out. I zoomed in a little a little too much maybe. So yeah, these dark lines, these two dark lines right here are the very, very likely path, right? Very, very, very likely path. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to be going anywhere near you, Uncle Bill. Not quite sure. Not quite sure, but kind of cool. So that's going to be happening at 5. Well, it's going to be going over your place at like 5:44, right? So almost exactly 3 hours from now. You're going to be maybe having an opportunity to see an occultation. Now, this is a short one and it's a faint star, right? Let's see, it was magnitude 11.9. So, in order for you to see an 11.9 magnitude star, you're going to need, at least an 8-inch scope, if not a 10 or or um, um, larger. So yeah, you got to be able to see the star in order to know that it goes away, right? I don't know if you can see this on the screen or not, but the magnitude of the asteroid itself is 16.5, and it's 35 kilometers in diameter. So that's a pretty big shadow, right? That that is going to be the approximate size of the shadow as it moves across the surface of the Earth, like that. But as you can see, that shadow moves fast, right? I mean, it moves across the entire United States in about 3 minutes, right? So these asteroids, their relative velocities, right, which is the combination of the motion of the Earth and um, the motion of the asteroid, these things are screaming, right? I mean, that is some serious, serious motion. I mean, to move across the United States in 3 minutes, that's fast. That's very, very fast. And that's going sort of the long ways too. So isn't that about like 3,000 miles or so? So you're talking about like 1,000 miles a minute. So yeah, these things are screaming, right? These things are screaming. All right, let's see if there's any other interesting ones. But this is a great tool. Now there's a piece of software that you can download and run on your own machine. I think it runs on Windows only. Might be for Mac. Don't quote me on that. Um, but it's called um, Occult 4. So OCCULT 4. So if you do a search for that, you'll find it. You have to download it. You have to do some configurations too. Quite an extensive amount of configuring. You have to download a bunch of files, and you have to um, set your latitude and longitude and um, star catalogs and all of that, right? But once you do that, you can hit run, and it'll it'll predict asteroid occultations for your exact location, right? And typically, you will have an opportunity to see um, usually maybe about one occultation a month or so right now. Now that number is going to increase as we find um, more of these asteroids, right? I firmly, I'm absolutely certain that there are many more um, occultations going on than um, what we're aware of. I mean, if there's a billion asteroids, then there's a lot of occultations. But as I said, they're happening really, really fast, and the probability of actually seeing one, right, of having a the shadow of a 1 meter asteroid, um, you know, seeing that um, with your own eyes, that's um, um, the probability of that is pretty pretty low, but it happens, right? It happens. You just have to be at the right place at the right time. But these are more of the larger ones, right? The ones that are going to last at least a few seconds, right? So here's another one tomorrow that says Europe and USA. Let's look at that. Okay, so that's like the eastern United States, northeastern, it looks like. Okay. Um, Here's another one, USA, Mexico, that's happening tomorrow. Let's see that one. Okay, so that's like southern United States. Um, Going through maybe northern Louisiana. So I don't know where exactly you are, Bobby, but that might be an interesting one. So what is that one? That's the 28th. Chang'e occults this star magnitude 11.8. So it's also really, really faint. It's also very, very low in the sky, right? It has a declination of negative 24. Um, yeah. There's actually a site. I'm not probably not going to be able to find it, um, but there's a site where you can actually report your occultation observations, and if there are others in your area that also see the occultations and have some good timings, of when the star goes out and then when the star comes back, yes, you can actually infer a shape, or at least a size. And if nothing else, you can help improve the orbital parameters um, of these asteroids. A lot of these asteroids, what's required to get good orbits? Um, yes, absolutely is um, precise measurements of positions. But what's even more important than that is time. Is time. You need to let time go by and make observations. Uh, so yeah, any any observation of an occultation helps in the improvement of the orbital parameters. So yeah, very very cool. So there's another one. Let's look and see. So this one's happening on the 28th of May at 8:35. Let's go over and look at that one. This guy. See, now this guy says it's 8:39. So that's why I say you really have to run your own software to make the actual prediction. So let's see. Zoom in a little bit here. Oh, am I over the ocean? Yeah. Oops. I was like, where is it? Okay, so this one's going over near Austin, near Shreveport. Okay, so very, very cool. Very, very cool. And asteroid occultations are cool, right? Because you know, we're still not really used to seeing things happening very much up in the sky, right? I mean, it seems pretty steady. Things really don't seem to change much. All of that, but when you see an occultation and you see this star just completely vanish, right, and then a couple of seconds reappear, it's like, wow, there's shit going on up there. That's amazing. Yeah. Let's see if there's any other ones. So yeah, I m- most occultation observing, you definitely need a pretty decent sized scope because you're going to have to be looking at some pretty faint stars, right? I mean, these are all, 10th, 11th, 12th magnitude. Once in a while, right, you'll get a bright one like this one. Okay. This is magnitude 8.1, right? Now, of course, it's not going to be visible in the United States, but, a magnitude 8.1 star uh, in a dark site with a decent pair of binoculars, you'd be able to see that, right? So that's pretty cool. But as you can see, most of these are pretty darn faint. You're going to need a telescope. The other thing that actually I didn't point out with these, with this um, particular site, is that they also provide finder charts. So you can actually find the star. And that's what you want to do, of course, um, prior, to actually observing the occultation, is that you have to make sure that you're looking at the right star, right? So this guy, he provides these various fields of view, right? So this particular star is right in between Scorpius and Sagittarius, right? It's marked with the little plus sign there, right? So that's a nice wide field of view, right? Then he's got a narrower one, which, if you see this box, okay, this box is a 15-degree field of view, and that's what this next field is, right? So there it is again, zoomed in a little bit more, right? You can still see a little bit of Sagittarius, a little bit of Scorpius here, but that's now where the star is, right? And then here's this new box, which is the I went too far, which is the 5-degree field of view. So there you can zoom in a little bit more, right? Now you can see that we're still not seeing the star there. It's still too faint to plot on these charts. But this one would actually be probably pretty easy to find because you've got these 3 bright stars here that, yeah, sort of make a easily recognizable pattern. So that box is a 2-degree field of view. So here's those 3 stars again, these 3 bright stars. We're just starting to see the star there. But, once you get to this level, you got to be able to start seeing these things in your telescope, right? You got to be able to see all these stars in your telescope because, as I said, right? I mean, you want to be able to um, uh, identify which star is going to go out. You don't want to have to be looking at, you know, um, a bunch of stars in order to figure out um, which one is blinking out. And this is a 30 arc minute field of view. So this is a field of view as large as the full moon, right? So it's a little tiny patch of sky, and there's our little star right there that's going to be occulted tomorrow for viewers along this path. Yeah, very cool. It's kind of neat to see the full path of these occultations too, because sometimes they're a little odd, right? I mean, that's a relatively nice curve, relatively flat, and all that. But yeah, it's just a nice perspective. Let's see if there's any more here. Whoop, I went too far again. Dang it. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Here's Southeast Canada, USA, Mexico. Oh, magnitude 12.9. It's just, oh, it's the asteroid. The asteroid is brighter than the star. So, yeah, I mean, in this case, you're not really going to see any kind of dimming event, right? You're actually going to see sort of um, um, that star is actually going to probably appear a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's a little strange. So asteroid Vesta is going to be occulting a 12.2 magnitude star on the 30th of May. It's kind of interesting. 9.2, 9.8. In Australia, there's going to be an 8.1 magnitude star being occulted. So that again, is a pretty good binocular view. And again, right? I mean, it goes across most of Australia in about 4 minutes. Just amazing. Oh, all right. Well, cool. Well, as you can see, these are happening all the time. And as I said, uh, if you get this piece of software called Occult 4, OCCULT 4, you can get a prediction for your exact location. And if you're so inclined, go out and watch a few of these. They're pretty amazing. They're pretty amazing. And if you do the timing um, on these things, make a report, file it, and add to the knowledge base of these things. All right, well, very cool. I think that I am going to call it sort of an early-ish live stream today. My coffee is cold, and yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about it for today. So hope everybody has a great evening, a great day tomorrow. As I said, I think it's very, very likely that my live stream for June 1st is not going to happen. I've got a musical gig. I've I've got to play. So that's a lot of fun, and wouldn't miss that pretty much for anything. So yeah, but I will let you know for sure tomorrow um, whether I'm going to live stream on the first or not. But I think there's a really 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 good chance that I'm not. So, but I will keep you updated on that. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Peace, cheers, and all that. I will see you in exactly 23 hours from now, because it is now 3 hours UTC. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you on the spin. Bye-bye.